Trevor Tufson back with Rocket Inventory, picking up where we left off on that item setup checklist. Again, you can go find this piece of content on our website, rocketinventory.com/featured content, and follow along about these concepts. So today we're going to talk about ABC cycle count classifications and why this is important. So when you're going to select that WMS, it's one thing to get the visibility and accuracy of having a system that gives you those inventory reports, but how do you make sure those reports are accurate? Well, you're going to need to implement something what we call ABC cycle count classes. And so what this is saying is for those SKUs throughout your warehouse, you're going to count them at a certain frequency throughout the year. So those A-class items, right? Those are the items that you're going to be counting the most frequently because they're your highest value, fastest moving SKUs. Typically, there's an 80-20 rule here, meaning 20% of the SKUs or inventory in your warehouse is accounting for 80% of the value or dollars that are coming into the business. And so you're going to be wanting to count those a little more frequently because there's so many more touches that are happening to that SKU as it enters the warehouse and as it leaves the warehouse. Next are those B and C class items. On our guide, we kind of break it down. The numbers here may be different for every organization, but generally speaking, those are going to be about, the B class is about 30% of the SKUs, but they only account for maybe 15% of the value for your organization. And so you maybe are going to be counting those on a quarterly basis versus more of a monthly basis on those A class. And then lastly, that's C class, right? This is like usually 50% of your inventory, but it's accounting for a small fraction of the value in your warehouse. But there may be important items, right, that are a part of your business model. And the inventory is going to be sitting there for a longer period of time. We recommend counting those maybe every 6 months or maybe once a year. And so as you analyze data that you might have, hopefully, before you go to select that WMS, make sure it supports that ABC cycle count designation for your SKUs. It's going to give you a much better confidence in the reporting that it's going to provide you throughout the year, especially if it can direct your operators to go do the work in a spread out manner, meaning there's an algorithm in there that's sort of dropping in those cycle count pieces of work based on the frequency that you have set for those SKUs. So you're not having to count things all at once, but every day or every week, you're counting a few things at a time to make sure you're getting those updated counts so that you have confidence as a manager or as a business owner in that inventory report. So I hope this was helpful. Again, go to rocketinventory.com/featured content to download this guide, and we'll see you on the next one.